What's up, everybody? This is Russell Brunson, and welcome to Marketing Secrets Podcast.
The man, Russell.
All right, so I want to talk to you guys today. And this is something that we have been talking about a lot recently, probably because we're in the middle of it in our company, but it's like getting the systemization in, right? So the first time I ever heard about systems was I read the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And I remember it was probably 12 years ago or something. And at the time I started my business and I had learned how to do everything, right? Because I didn't have any money outside of programming. I never learned programming. So I hired this guy named Dorel in Romania, who still works for me to this day. And so he did all the programming stuff, but I had to figure out everything else because I didn't have any skills. So I had to learn how to write copy. I had to learn how to, I did images, either I hired images, but I learned all these different pieces to marketing and traffic and sales and it sucks when you first get started because it's just you and you don't have any capital or money. So it's like you have to get really talented. And I think that's one of the big reasons why, if you heard the intro of the show, I make fun of people who take on VC money because I feel like they don't have to learn any of the stuff. They just cheat. They get a bunch of money, they hire people, and there's never anyone on the team that actually has the skill set to run the show. There's got to be someone who has done everything once, or else it's hard to I don't know. That's just my thoughts, my feelings. So I was doing everything from writing copy, doing customer support, driving traffic, doing sales, project management, everything. It was just me, right? Someone, I think it was Telman Knutson or someone at an event mentioned this book called The E-Myth, and I thought, oh, it's like the internet market. I thought E was like internet or email. I don't know. So I remember we're going on a trip down to Lake Powell, my wife and I, and so we're heading out. We swing by Barnes & Noble. I go in the bookstore, the business section. There's a book called The E-Myth. I'm like, this is the one that I'm talking about. So I bought it, jump in the car ride, drive 12 hours down to Lake Powell, Utah, jump on a houseboat, go in the middle of the boat, pull out my new book to learn about internet marketing, and I start reading it. It has nothing to do with internet marketing. I was kind of disappointed at first, but I had nothing else to read, so I kept reading this thing, and it was all about systemization. Talked about how most entrepreneurs feel, they're juggling this thing, and they're juggling 10 different plates, right? You're trying to keep them all whole up top because if one of them falls, the whole thing's gonna collapse. You talked about basically going in there and each of these things you're spinning is create a system around it, plug some of that system, and then run with it, and then doing that through all the different things until eventually you've got things systemized. That was kind of the gist, and I've never gone super deep with Michael Gerber stuff outside of that, and I know I have a couple friends who disagree with what he says, but conceptually it was this is brilliant, build systems to replace the things that I'm doing. And I honestly struggled with that for a long time. I think most entrepreneurs do, because I think the reason why is because you as the entrepreneur who had to figure out all this crap ahead of time. You had to figure out how to do all these things. You're taking on 20 or 30 different skill sets initially that you have to learn, and some things you're really good at, some things you are horrible at, but you had to figure out how to do it because there's no one else doing it, right? So I had to buy books and study and practice and read and learn, and it was painful, but I had to do it because there's no one else that could do it at the time, right? So then we get to this point where we start trying to systemize things, we start bringing people in, and I think the biggest problem most of us have is we assume that the people that we're bringing in will have all the skills that we've acquired to get this thing off the ground. And what I've been learning through this new process of systemization I've been doing with James P. Frill is it's less about that, more figuring out all the pieces and then bringing people that are just amazing at that one piece. How do I say this the right way? Because I don't want to make it sound offensive, because it's not even a little bit. I feel for me and for most entrepreneurs, we probably get to level 6 or 7 skill set at a whole bunch of things, right? That gets this idea off the ground, right? And so that's kind of where we're at. And the goal is not to bring in someone that's the same thing. It's like picking each one of those skill sets that you're 6 at. You take that apart and then you find 10 level person and plug them into just that one thing. And so the problem with that in our minds as entrepreneurs, 'cause I know how we all think, is you're saying it's take 10 people to replace what I'm already doing? And it's well, yes, but those 10 people will be able to do level 10 of what you're doing, not level 4, 5 or 6, whatever you're doing right now. But it takes more people to do it, because there's not anyone who's going to write copy and do customer support, right? Even though you had to do that, they're not going to do it. You got to find level 10 support person, level 10 copy person, and level 10 funnel person, and level 10 designer, and all those pieces, and you plug them in, and be okay with the fact that they're not going to do all the stuff that you did. They're just going to do that one piece, but they're gonna do it way better than you. Their level 10 skill set is gonna replace your 6, and now you get 10 people, and all of a sudden, now it becomes magic. I'm looking at this happening right now in my business. I've had an amazing team, and I've been building this team for a long time, and it's been good. But as we're specifically trying to replace me out of things that I currently do, which I do a lot of things. I still do a lot of things, and it's I'm trying to now I pull myself out of those pieces, and it's been scary. But I'm trying to find level 10 people each spot, plug them in, and now it's man, they take my what I did and make it better. And I think that most of the entrepreneurs probably level 10 at one thing. I think, yeah, I would say I'm level 10 at one thing, so I'm keeping that piece because I love it, but the rest of it, I'm getting other people. And anyway, I hope that gives you hope, because I know that as I systemized stuff in the past, I'd always get frustrated because I think I would try to give people 3 or 4 things, hey, you're gonna write copy and do this and do this, and they can do 1 or 2, but then the other ones make them struggle, and just they never were able to be rock stars, and it was my fault. I didn't let them shine. Whereas now, with stepping away from this and just realizing, look, just have them focus on that one thing. Anyway, hope that helps. That was kind of a big aha for me recently. Just watching is like, I went to go with Nora and I did a little meeting with my team. I'm looking at like, okay, that's the person who plays this part of me, and that person plays that part of me, and that part of me. I look at all these things and I'm like, all of them are better at those things than I am. This is so great. And I get to play with my daughter now, and they're doing their piece of brilliance, and I can go spend time with my daughter. That's been the goal for me, and I'm finally getting there, and I hope that gives you guys some faith and some hope, especially those who have tried to systemize and tried to replace yourself and have tried to hire people and have been frustrated. I get it, and maybe this little piece that I got over the last day or two will help you as well. So hope that helps. We'll get back in there and build some funnels. Thanks everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.